Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be your host, The Sound, and we are taking a look at Division C. This is a replay cast from a match that happened last week. We're going to be seeing Gin Distillery take on Ginormous Jagers in a best of 3. If you know the results, don't share them. We want to be surprised. A little bit of background on these two teams. XGD have been playing together forever, more or less, since at least Season 8. They're a squad that plays together rain or shine, no matter the division. They've got strong team fight synergies, as one might expect after however many seasons, 11 seasons of play. Ginormous Jagers are, in a sense, a new team this season, but they're actually a revive from Season 11. So Ogle the Great captaining that team has brought players back to the Nexus, so we're excited to see them. We can take a look at our battleground selection here as we get prepared for Game 1. We're headed to Braxis Holdout. I don't have any of the draft or map selection, like who chose map versus first pick data, but if I'm a betting person, I'm going to go and say that Gin Distillery picked this battleground. It's one that they have shown a penchant for in previous seasons, as well as in some scrims that I've had with them. So they like the battleground. It is not very popular across the league, so I'll be interested to see how Ginormous Jagers handle this, if they do a traditional 1-4 lane split, or if they've got more rotational heroes in mind. We also had bans on Sky Temple and Towers of Doom for XGD, with Ginormous Jagers banning out Dragonshire and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Alright, so that's enough rambling from me. Let's get into game number 1 and see how it all plays out. We can introduce our teams here on the left in blue. We've got Gin Distillery, D-Wit on Muradin, B-Fresh on Falstad, Ankleshot playing Chromie, Lead on Stukov, and Nutcracker on the Leoric. To the right in red, we've got Ginormous Jagers, Gambit on Sonya, Nemesis on Jaina, Classified playing Anduin, Ogle the Great on Genji, and 9.20 playing Vivarian. And flashing a lot of mastery taunts. Lots of fun. Always enjoy that. It's a 5-hero commitment to the bot lane from XGD. We'll see if the Jagers sniff it out in time. 9.20, still very weak on the Varian pre-level 4. Nutcracker has shown, so they must know on the side of Jagers that they are outnumbered down here. They'll play it very safely. Someone in chat mentioning that Ginormous Jagers actually were the folks who went with map pick. Very interesting. So with this battleground selection of theirs, they've also got the Genji, who's got that rotational pressure. D-Wit face checks the bush into the Jaina damage. Nemesis laying into them there. 9.20 will kite out successfully. B-Fresh picking up the first 3 stacks on Gathering Storm at level 1. Ankleshot already up to 6 stacks on Deep Breathing. That is a lot for the first minute of the game. And 9.20 looking for the Lion's Fang connections, trying to increase the slow amount from the Lion's Maw quest at level 1. Jaina picking up globes. All classic stuff. B-Fresh on the Falstad can also offer that rotational gank pressure onto top lane. Gambit could be in trouble if the fly comes through when they're low. Jaina had to Hearth, and Ginormous Jagers playing the top side with Ogle the Great. Nutcracker pressured by 2 here. They've got the Drain Hope connected, and they'll pop the Ocean Renewal. 9.20 lives thanks to the Leap of Faith from Classified. We'll see how much these rotations from Ogle the Great on the Genji can do to balance out the lane pressure. Looks like Nutcracker gets the better of Gambit here. B-Fresh lurking in the right side jungle. Level 4s are online, so Ginormous Jagers now have a tank. DeWitt jumps in deep onto Nemesis, eats all of that damage, and will fall. Ogle the Great in onto lead here. A time stop will prevent the takedown from happening too quickly. All the while, however, the channel is going in favor of XGD. They had to send their Sonya back to the Hall of Storms there. So the weak early game of the Varian definitely a little costly for the Jagers as far as the first objective is concerned. Nemesis has decent objective clear on the Jaina, especially with Pierce at level 4. There's a stun on to 9.20, led back from the Hall of Storms now. Classified taking a lot of damage from the Zerg wave, aggroing it there. And they've taken out the Sonya, an instant blow up there. I like the idea of rotating Sonya down for the clear on the Zerg. She offers a little bit more in that regard than Ogle the Great on Genji, but what are they cooking? They're going to make it out alive. B-Fresh chases in. There's the taunt under the keep. I'm sorry, the fort. They're fine. They're healthy. Ogle the Great falling very low. Level 7's now online for XGD. B-Fresh opting for Boomerang. You can see that spell armor reduction. Mobius Loop for Ankle Shot as they finish off their level 1 quest, Deep Breathing. A very brave Hearth location for for DeWitt there on the Muradin, but never punished. How many stacks? 53 stacks? A decent number of stacks. The rotational pressure from the Genji pick really not working out too well for XGD. Leoric, not the most easily ganked. So we'll see if they're able to take advantage of this brief window where they've got a heroic and XGD don't. With that said, Ankle Shot gets theirs in just like a sliver of HP. We'll see if it's loot or Slowing Sands. I'd expect Slowing Sands. Oh my goodness, that Varian didn't last the... Oh man, instant blow up. It is Slowing Sands. Yeah, with the Fire Bats at their back, I think XGD are going to be able to clean up this fort with relative ease. Another jump in from DeWitt onto Classified and Ogle the Great. They've got the heavy impact, which is why we see them jumping in time and time again. They bit off a bit more than they can chew. A couple more autos from Ogle the Great will finish off that takedown. So 2 takedowns to 3 in favor of XGD, but Ginormous Jager is definitely showing signs of life here. Checking in on top lane, Nutcracker and Gambit just having the times of their lives. Sonya spinning, Leo sucking. B-Fresh flies in. Gambit has not scouted them. I think that scout came in, and it's a full rotation from both teams. It's 5v4 until DeWitt makes it back from the Hall of Storms. They're a little bit ahead towards their heroics, thanks to the slight edge on takedown XP and structure XP. Jagers will get the first 10%. There's the taunt immediately onto DeWitt. A huge silence from Led crushes Jaina. DeWitt very low here. They've got heroics online now. A great gust. DeWitt is still low in the back. Ogle the Great falls. Classified in full retreat. They still have the sword out. Be Fresh trying to pressure out 9.20, and with the slowing sands, they'll finish off the takedown. DeWitt jumps over the wall to proc the boss. So to XGD emphasizing the boss grab instead of objective progress. But of course, with a tank that can cross terrain, they'll be able to do both at the same time. A little bit of objective progress for them, 6% and a boss. Can't be too disappointed. Nemesis and Ogle the Great taking care of this cruiser camp. Jaina's very low. She's going to have to hearth back, looks like. So XGD continue to have a power play on the map. The Jagers are doing a great job playing Ring Around the Rosie. Ogle the Great on the Genji has all the tools one could ever want for that. A lot of damage in. There's the Light Bomb, connects onto 3. Follow up with the Ring of Frost, and it's 2 takedowns onto Lead and Ankle Shot. There's another, this time onto Nutcracker. Decisive progress made for Ginormous Jagers, and the boss down to about half HP, might not even make it through this top fort. DeWitt stalls the objective progress before it comes through. But Ogle the Great is here to pressure out the Dwarf. Gambit looking for the spear in, does not connect. Ankle Shot and Lead both respawning now. Oh no, Ogle the Great in so much trouble. They have the Swift Strike to escape, but Be Fresh with the barrel roll distance extension updraft at level 4. They're able to close the distance and take out the Genji. Gambit trying to lead everyone on a merry chase. They still have the leap, but they know that they're not going to be able to use it. 56% now in favor of XGD, as well as 8 takedowns to the 5 of the Jagers. There's the leap in onto Classified, stuck in the slowing sands as well. Lead follows up with the low blow, and that's an easy takedown. Lead taking a lot of damage from Nemesis here. There's the gust in onto 9.20, Ankle Shot very low. The Entomb catches Varian. Ogle the Great takes out the Chromie. Some weird pathing. There's the leap in onto Falstad and Lead. Be Fresh and Lead both very low. No flailing swipes available. Nemesis trying to kite out, but in the end, the body blocks from Nutcracker and DeWitt are enough. On the top side, Ogle the Great trying to get this takeout on Be Fresh. They'll manage it. Gambit, I think they might have died for that spear, especially with these meaty auto attacks from Lead. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And a full Zerg wave in favor of XGD. Level 13's now online. We've got Bronzebeard's Rage, Flow Rider, timeout from Chromie. Ogle the Great getting a little bit of deflect value there. It Hungers from Stukov getting resets on their Lurking Arm puddle. So Ginormous Jagers have the tools they need to get onto the relatively squishy backline with the Genji Light Bomb, but the aggression, the raw aggression from XGD has seemed to be stymieing that approach a bit. DeWitt jumping in every time they see a red health bar, and Lead always ready to follow up with the Stukov silence. It's been tough for the Jagers to find their footing. They've got level 13s of their own. This is a big power spike for the Jagers. Nemesis in particular on the Jaina getting access to Icy Veins, able to just pour damage forth. Looks like we've got a potential gank onto Gambit. They're going to play it safe by their keep wall. I really appreciate the respecting vision there. Shuriken Mastery complete and Shingon online means Ogle the Great has a lot more burst damage at their back as well. 9.20 has been having a hard time finding the taunt targets that they'd ideally have. Ogle the Great dismounted. Zul'jin Distillery looks like they're going to succeed in stealing away this bruiser camp. And there's the leap in. So much damage onto 9.20. There's the Ring of Frost. Icy Veins popped. Lots of damage, but it looks like they're going to make it out. Gambit low. They're going to fall. Ogle the Great low as well. That last missile might do it. They Swift Strike in, looking for the takedown onto DeWitt. But DeWitt makes it out with single-digit HP. Lead will fall to the Anduin damage. But once again, it's 3 for 1 in takedowns, favoring XGD. It's the AoE CC compared with the single-target initiation that I think is giving XGD such an advantage in these 5v5 fights. Ring of Frost caught many, but unfortunately they just weren't able to match the damage with the CC there. Not sure what happened with the Light Bomb or X-Strike, because I can't keep track of everything all at once. A boss, objective progress, and another siege camp. XGD are running the map, painting it blue. Ginormous Jagers gonna have to weather the storm here, look for their level 16 talents wherever they can. Nutcracker completing the Wraithwalk build with Ominous Wraith and Royal Focus at 13 and 16. Nemesis has enough space to step up and start clearing the boss, but with the armor shred, it's going to get through the keep nonetheless. Ogle the Great getting a back cap on the objective, so a quick 24% for the Jagers. They're still looking for their level 16 talents. I don't think they're going to be able to contest the objective on an even talent tier if they choose to contest the objective at all. Looks like they will. There's a gust from Bfresh just to get a little bit more progress. The slowing sands and lurking arm making it very difficult for Ginormous Jagers to approach. And now they've been drawn to the top lane with the enemy objective spawning in bot. There's also a catapult down here. So it's a pretty strong push that XGD have at their backs, along with constant catapult pressure to take care of any top lane issues they may have. How many stacks are Bfresh? Up to 92 stacks? Yeah, those hammerings really starting to hit quite hard. Bfresh jumps in, does not connect. With the Dwarf launch, 16's on both sides now. Northern Exposure, Numbing Blast. So we have a route. More CC available. There's the jump in. Nemesis looks... Oh my gosh, the Light Bomb! And there's the follow-up with the leap. Ring connects. Ankle shot immediately blows up. Icy Veins might be able to finish off these kills. Gambit spinning on the back here. DeWitt jumps back to stun the Sonya out. They'll fall. Zerg almost taken out. The core shielding is down. They're taking damage. DeWitt finds Ogle the Great. There's a gust onto Nemesis and Classified. And it looks like Zul'jin Distillery are going to take it here in game one. The raw aggression working out in their favor and being the major difference maker in those engagements. So really well played to both sides. I liked the potential from Ginormous Jager's composition with the Genji, but they weren't able to get the gank pressure they needed onto the Leoric, and they suffered a lot pre-level 4 with the Varian. Let's take a look at our builds. We called out most of the talents in-game. Nothing too out of the ordinary. DQ-based build for Ogle the Great, which I believe is the most common we see nowadays. Nemesis opting for Piercing Lance and Ice Lance. So, you know, this is an older, quote-unquote older, build, but still very strong, able to just shotgun, rather than going for the Icy Flows Cone of Cold build, which throws out a bit more burst short-range damage. You can kind of just machine gun these ice bolts. Yeah, that's a pretty clean game. 108 stacks for B-Fresh on the level 1. Reflected in their hero damage. Ogle the Great was able to rack up a fair bit of hero damage of their own, but in the end it was the takedown count that kind of told the story of this game 1. Alright, let's head over to our battleground selection once again. See where we're headed for game 2 in the series. And this is the sort of play that I definitely expect from Zul'jin Distillery games. They are extraordinarily aggressive and can play to their limits better than most. Looks like we're headed to Alterac Pass. Praxis holdout was won by XGD, and we're headed to Alterac for game 2. All right. Excellent. Yeah, the rough early game, very few teams in the current balance of the game, I think, snowball an early game advantage extraordinarily well. And that is something that I believe XGD kind of really excel at. Oh, that looks a little messy. What is this? This? All right. That'll be fine. There we go. A little bit cleaner. So we'll just get this last replay loaded up. And chat helping me out, telling me about the map selection. I appreciate it. Typically, I don't have access to that stuff on a replay broadcast, so thanks, homie. Appreciate it. Alterac, a very large battleground. The Falstad pick wouldn't be amiss here again for XGD. We'll also potentially see other globals, though I don't personally like to pick Dahaka on this map. I know plenty of folks do. Brightwing, of course, another global. Excellent. And we've got the replay all loaded up and good to go. So let's see how XGD and GJ, that's not easier to say, how the Jagers fare in Game 2 if they're able to get a win, take us to a full 3-game series in our time machine from last week. I'm rooting for it, personally. But it's not up to me. It's up to our teams. We can introduce them again. Here on the left in blue, we've got Zul'jin Distillery, DeWitt on ETC, B-Fresh on Falstad, Ankleshot playing Kael'thas, Led on Anduin, and Nutcracker playing Dahaka. To the right in red, the Jagers, they are Ginormous. Gambit on Sonya, Nemesis on Vala, Classified playing Brightwing, 9.20 on Anubarak, and Ogle the Great on Zeratul. So a late game scaling composition for the Jagers with a offlane Zeratul. And it looks like it's a Might of the Nerazim auto attack build, most likely, based on the level 1 Shadow Hunter Globe quest. 9.20, looking for the short-range burrow charge, does not connect. Ankleshot getting a fair bit of living bomb rocks. 9.20 eating so much damage, the cleanse from Classified, not enough to get them to safety. First blood going over to XGD. Gambit already getting through this top wave. The Null camps spawn in the next 5 seconds, the true objective of Alterac Pass. Another set of CC onto Nemesis. Led following up with the root, but in the end, DeWitt wants to chase this takedown. They're going to make it out to safety. Gambit starting up on this camp as our ankle shot and lead. Nutcracker sounds like they used the drag, didn't connect. In top lane, Classified and Bfresh duking it out. Up to 8 stacks on their level 1 Hammerang quest, Gathering Storm. 3 stacks of Hungering Arrow for Vala. A little bit of an earlier camp take for XGD, but not by much. They committed 2 heroes for it. Classified continuing to tend to this top lane experience. That's level 4s for XGD. The Jagers just a little bit behind towards that talent tier, thanks to the minion XP advantage that XGD have, as well as those takedowns. DeWitt eats 2 stuns and a polymorph. Ogle the Great trying to put pressure onto them, but there's the gravity lapse. They blinked in. They're able to escape, giving the living bomb to Nemesis. Ginormous Jagers trying to get aggressive before their comp has scaled up. I can understand it, wanting to make sure that Zul'jin Distillery are still respecting your early game kill pressure, but Ogle the Great really needs at least level 7 before they can contribute meaningfully to these team fights. First objective spawning on the bot side. XGD have their global in the far lane. One of their globals, I should say. Nutcracker, of course. On the Dahaka, also global. Prison camps will respawn, and by prison I mean Null. Null camps will respawn here shortly. Nutcracker looking for another drag onto Ogle the Great. DeWitt rotates down as well. No minion vision for Ogle, so they don't know that ETC is in this bush. They've still got the blink, so Ogle will get out without too much hassle. Gambit taking that solo. Once again, it's going to be a lot slower than Ankle Shot and Lead can take it as 2. Nemesis getting a couple more stacks together for their level 1, opting for Repeating Arrow. So resetting their Puncturing Arrow cooldown whenever they use Vault. The lane pressure that XGD have bought for themselves means they'll get first channel on the objective, level 7s on both sides here. Boomerang, Sun King's Fury, okay. More damage on Bomb Spread. Desperate Prayer, of course. 9.20 does not connect with the Burrow Charge. DeWitt taking a lot of damage. I think that was their Power Slide interrupted as well. Desperate Prayer used. Ogle the Great, what a great body block setup. Oh, the damage over time. I'm sorry, there is no damage over time. That's a Q build thing. Ogle unable to chase down that takedown. Really like that blink to secure the body block, but in the end, DeWitt squeaks by with a sliver of HP. Shit. There's the Burrow Charge in. ETC's not going to live through this one. Led a little bit late on the Leap of Faith. So 9.20 keeping the pressure onto ETC. If you think about it, all damage is damage over time. Thanks, Scoops. That's an excellent point. Ogle the Great down below 200. Bfresh looking for the Hammerang. Does not connect. Ogle the Great way too low to keep fighting. Nemesis vaults in with the double Hungering Arrow. Now Gambit posturing, trying to get Zul'jin Distillery to quit this stalling. Dead even on experience now, thanks to that takedown. Making up for a little bit of that minion XP. The Burrow Charge in way ahead of the team. 9.20 is not going to live, nor is the Kael'thas. DeWitt doesn't have anything at their backs. There's another power slide, this time onto Classified. Right wing will fall. Nutcracker looking for one more drag. Does not connect, but Be Fresh will clean up Ogle the Great with the Lightning Rod. And it's Symbiosis at level 7 for Nutcracker rather than the more commonly seen Feeding Frenzy. This is last patch, so this is the old version of Feeding Frenzy without the Gambit. If you haven't read the patch notes, you can use !patch. Oh no! The Crowd Surfer! Nemesis dead. Oh, was not expecting the power slide over the wall there, I would think. And so, Zul'jin Distillery clean up another takedown. It's a 3-hero commitment to mid lane. Be Fresh relatively safe here in bot lane. Just getting a few more pokes of the Hammerang. There's the stage dive in, lands onto 2. Power slide onto Ogle the Great. Do they have a blink to save themselves? They do. Mid fort goes down. The Jagers have their heroics now as well. Ogle in full retreat. Nemesis pops the Rain of Vengeance ankle shot, caught behind the fort of the Jagers. Classified uses the Emerald Wind to push lead away, and on the top side, Be Fresh chased down by Ogle the Great. Of course, this whole time Nutcracker's been auto-attacking a fort. Strafe, not Rain of Vengeance. Yes, I know the difference between the two. Thank you. Definitely going to say the wrong thing here and there. So those takedowns help them catch up on the experience a fair bit. They're going to be able to secure this boss for themselves as well. Frost Shot for Nemesis rather than Monster Hunter for Nemesis. So they won't be getting through the boss too quickly. And I don't know if they're going to be able to make the rotation up to XGD. I imagine this will just be a boss trade, given how much burn they've got on their side. Committing the Phoenix to it as well. I think it's a smart move. They also still have Gust available. If Ginormous Jagers were to arrive, the point control that offers wouldn't have been enough. Oh no, Night Point 20. Burrow charges in. Nemesis vaults in. This is a little sketchy. Pops the Strafe, just to do a little boss damage. And we heard the stage dive go off. ETC headed down to the bot lane to start cleaning up the boss there. A triple global comp for XGD. Classified in a sketchy spot. Uses the Emerald Wind. Ginormous Jagers just around the corner from talent tier parity at level 13. And there we have it. So XGD are going to clean up the first bit of channel on this objective. DeWitt still working on bot lane. They'll have their global up in the next 15 seconds. They might be able to secure the fort here. A well-placed Phoenix, but not in time. So the Jagers are able to stall the objective channel with 19 seconds remaining for XGD to secure. The Jagers need to get a little aggressive here. They missed one stun. There's a second one. Polymorph connected onto the Dahaka, but they're going to scoot to safety. And once again, DeWitt lurking in this bot lane. They've got their global available. Ogle the Great in true stealth here, as well as a party bush for the Jagers. Gambit scouted out. None of the rest of... Oh my gosh, there's the engage onto the Anduin, immediately blown up. Nemesis falling low, but they'll pop the strafe. They're sustaining through most of this damage. Classified still has the cleanse and phase shift, so they'll get the save on the Vala. Ogle the Great connects ankle shot low. DeWitt and Nutcracker happy to zone a little bit, but the channel still comes through for the Jagers. Anduin respawning in the next 6 seconds here. 9.20 does not connect with the burrow charge. Gambit spears in, ankle shot down below half. Ogle the Great gets the W, whatever that's called, but a great stun from DeWitt takes out the Zeratul. A great gust from B-Fresh knocks everyone into the wall. Nemesis won't survive. DeWitt gets the channel here. Led trying to connect with the light bomb. DeWitt gets the stall with just a little under 7 seconds. It's a nice number to have secured. DeWitt taking out the Sonya with another stage dive. Mid-keep the whole time under pressure from this null camp. It'll fall. Nutcracker will set up another here in the right side of the battleground. Meanwhile, DeWitt pushes out those waves. This is the sort of global play you love to see. Nutcracker falling low here. One charge of Leap of Faith. Led has another thanks to their level 16 Leap of Faith. Ogle the Great in onto 2. There's the drag from Nutcracker. Ogle the Great could continue chasing. Do they have a Vorpal? They don't. And DeWitt just pressuring out these lanes. They don't have the stage dive available. Ginormous Jagers thinking about a heavy rotation here. They're still down 16s, so ganking would be one of the best ways for them to find some of that experience. There's the leap, ankle shot on the left, getting chased down by Ogle the Great, and that will do it. ETC taken out as well. So 2 takedowns will secure level 16 for the Jagers, and should keep them from sustaining too much damage on their top and bot keeps. I say that, but top wave is huge. Nemesis is in range, as is Ogle. They'll be able to clean it up. Still about half of the HP of this top keep eliminated. We see pings going out onto the boss. I expect Zul'jin Distillery want to set up for it as soon as they can, once the objective despawns. They've got Gust. They showed bot. The Jagers mounted up, charging towards that bot boss. A great little vision play from XGD, showing on bot wave, and then getting to faking it out and headed to top instead. I think it's a good call. I think B-Fresh used a short-range fly? That was weird. Ogle the Great going to scout this bruiser camp. Siege camp, whatever. The Knolls, you know what I'm talking about, folks. So it's going to be another boss trade. I can't help but think that these trades favor XGD. Ogle the Great sneaking in true stealth here. If they don't send anyone to deal with that boss, the wave behind it is big enough that it will get a keep. Ogle the Great maybe looking for the single takedown. They haven't been revealed yet. Leap in onto the Anduin once again, led the target. Instant blow up. Nemesis chasing on the ankle shot here. They'll take him out. Nemesis taking so much damage from the Phoenix. The spell shield from Brightwing will be enough to save him, but the boss gets through another keep. This core could be in big trouble. There are 2 big waves. Only 20 armor and a boss. I hope the Jagers are sending someone back to deal with this. They get the ETC takedown. Ogle the Great dies. I think they're going to lose to minions. Oh no, they lose to minions? That's a feels bad moment. I don't think they're going to be able to clear this in time. Boss done. Yeah, that'll do it. Game 2 going over to XGD. Understanding that the game ends when the core dies and not when enemy heroes die. Bummer summer. Let's take a look at our post-game builds and stats. A Living Bomb heavy build for ankle shot. They were unable to finish out Mana Addict at level 1, which surprises me. I guess it's just a 15-minute game. They did end particularly quickly for Alterac. The decisive engagements from the Jagers onto Led's Anduin were mega clean. Unfortunately, they had just fallen a little too far behind once again to make those teamfight wins convert into map advantages. And their focus on those teamfights meant that they ended up losing to the map pressure that Zul'jin Distillery secured. Top damage for Nemesis, Ankle Shot, close second at 32k. A lot of experience for both globals on the side of XGD. Close in takedowns. In fact, the winning team got fewer, but once again, it's not about hero takedowns. It's about 4 takedowns, and that's what wins you games. So I'll update the scoreboard here and bring us over to our post-match summary. It was a clean showing from XGD last week. The Jagers looked to be a strong team, no doubt, but they couldn't contend with the early game pressure that Zul'jin Distillery are willing to apply, and so it ended up costing them the 2 losses on Braxis and Alterac. Very different battlegrounds as well. One focusing more on the tight rotations in the form of Braxis, while the other focusing more on that macro play. It makes me think that XGD's experience with one another and as a team evens out and irons out comms moments in turning on a dime from one battleground to the next. And perhaps that could have been the difference maker. That's going to be it from me today. That was the last replay I had available. So I'm going to sign off for real this time. A couple of shout outs. First and foremost, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Glad to have you. It's excellent to see all the support that we get across the NGS community, showing up, cheering teams on in streams. So thank you to everyone. And a big shout out to the entire NGS staff. They all work really hard, all for free. It's totally volunteer. And without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't have a league to participate in. And last but not least, to all of the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I featured here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. You can find links to all of their work below the video, or coming up in a credit roll here after I sign off. Please go check them out. All of the work is open source or Creative Commons licensed, so you can add it to your next project as well if you liked anything you heard or saw for the low, low price of giving credit. So check them out. It's excellent. Until next time, everyone, good luck and have fun out there. Peace and love.